For decades, state park golf courses have offered golfers a chance to enjoy the outdoors while improving their shot. Join us as we take a look at some unique recreational opportunities in our state parks, next on Georgia Outdoors.
Funding for Georgia Outdoors has been made possible by a grant from Mary Hall Singleton and by the Imlay Foundation.
Golf is like a therapy. Many people, when they get on the golf course, they stop thinking about their problems, they get involved in the game, and they kind of forget everything else.
It's a game of patience. It's a game of inches, and there's no absolutes.
I like to be with my friends, and I like to be outside.
Well, you're always playing against yourself. Now, we have a lot of fun playing against each other, but you're always trying to beat your best score.
I just feel more powerful when you just hit the golf club. It's an exhilarating feeling.
I've been playing for about 7 years. It's challenging and teaches you a lot of things, and it's just mostly fun.
Get to be one with nature and still do some sporting activities. Good fun.
Golf is one of our oldest and most popular games, but because of the amount of space they take up, golf courses generally don't have a reputation for helping the environment. However, some courses do make an effort to lessen their impact on plant and animal life. In Georgia, some of the more ecologically friendly courses can be found in our state parks. There are 8 state park courses found in almost every corner of Georgia, and they provide an opportunity to enjoy the outdoors while sharpening your game.
State park golf courses started in 1966 with 9 holes at Little Oak Muggy State Park Golf Course. At the time, local legislators and constituents in the area thought that this would be a good way to promote economic development, kind of bring some tourist dollars in, to get people out to enjoy the state parks, to give them another recreational opportunity besides the hiking and camping and all that. What really sets the state park golf courses apart is we're a golf course that's in a natural setting inside a state park. People are very surprised when they play our courses how great the quality is, our standards. They compare those to a lot of private resort type courses that we're just as good at or better. People that usually come play us for the first time come back. So we're out there, and then, we're located in parts of the state that you may not have never been to, and when you get there, you want to come back.
The game of golf attracts a variety of people. Though long considered a men's game, these days many women are hitting the fairways. This group of girls is here to get some pointers at the Highland Walk course at Victoria Bryant State Park.
We're going to cover a little mid-iron and then some long irons and then have everybody hit woods. But I was approached by someone who works for the USGA out of Atlanta. They knew we were actively involved with kids here at Highland Walk Golf Course, and they were looking to expand a new program just for girls. Go ahead and take your grip, set up over it. Good. Now bring the club to the top of your swing and stop. Okay, good. I enjoy teaching the kids and the girls especially because you can really see the changes with them personality-wise, and when they hit a good one, you see the fire in their eyes that just they light up. What's your target? Where are you trying to go? Better. Much, much better. Okay? Feel the difference? See how it held its line better? It's just neat to help them out and grow with them and be there for them when things aren't going so good. That's partially why we have an annual program. This goes on from January through December because golf's an ongoing game. You can't learn it in a month. It's more up. The moment they get this way, that's when you fight that hook a little bit.
I've been taking the clinic with Carl for about a year. I've learned a lot about my game. I've learned a lot. It's helped in my golf confidence in my playing, and I really enjoy it a lot now.
Remember that letter L we talked about before? Trying to get that L working with that left arm in the shaft. Getting that extension up there.
He's a very good coach,
I think he has a good, well-organized thing going here to teach us how to play the game of golf. It's a lifelong sport that you can play whenever.
Good one. Very good there, Brooke. Okay.
Well, I used to not be good at putting at all, but now I've gotten a lot better at putting. I normally can't aim the ball right. I always hit it in the wrong direction, and so I've tried to work really hard on that.
Look at that. Much better, Megan. A lot of kids are not team sport oriented, so the game of golf is an individual sport. Golf tends to be more of a mental sport than physical as well, so there's a lot of inner game stuff that takes place with golf. There are a lot of different facets to the game.
It's appropriate that these girls are learning their game at Highland Walk. The course is located at Victoria Bryant State Park, one of 3 state parks named for women. The rolling hills of Highland Walk provide more than scenery. It's considered to be one of the most demanding courses in the state park system.
It's a hilly shot-making golf course in that it is kind of narrow, and the steep hills force you to hit the ball pretty straight. So the average player finds it a very tough test because it is challenging, yet not super difficult. Being a state park golf course, it's always going to be a natural setting. You won't have any homes around a golf course at a state park. There's a lot of natural beauty to it. We are very ecologically sensitive. We are careful with our maintenance practices, pesticide applications. Hole number 12 has a creek in it, so we do not use any power equipment near it.
Like all of the state park courses, Highland Walk is affordable and open to the public.
For anyone who's just interested in getting into the game or wanting to bring their family members out, we want anyone who's interested in playing to come out and play the golf course. Being a state-run facility, it is open to anyone who would like to try the game.
Just a few miles from Highland Walk, Arrowhead Point at Richard B. Russell State Park offers its own unique golfing experience. Much of the course lies on a peninsula surrounded by Lake Richard B. Russell. 10 holes are bordered by water. In 2005, Golf Digest named Arrowhead Point the #2 new affordable golf course in the country.
Arrowhead Point is a very unique golf course. It's our first golf course that's actually on a major reservoir. It's kind of like a premier course. I know if you play a lot of courses in this area, like on Lake Oconee, it's comparable to that, but it's on the state park setting. You can see osprey flying over when you're playing the course. And a neat thing is there's not any development around Lake Richard Russell.
Well, the back 9 is fabulous. I mean, it's just beautiful. I mean, the lake, I mean, it's just, you can't beat it.
Because chemicals used to treat the greens can result in harmful runoff, natural buffer zones separate the greens from the lake. This attention to conservation doesn't end on the fairways. The clubhouse was built according to a special environmental program called LEED, or Leadership in Energy and Environmental Design.
This is the first building outside of Metro Atlanta to be LEED certified. We're also, I believe, the first golf course clubhouse in the nation to be LEED certified. It sets an example for environmental protection of what we can do in our state.
Arrowhead Point is not the only golf course at Richard B. Russell State Park. Disc golf is a growing sport, and the course at Richard B. Russell is one of the best in Georgia.
Rand Everhard and Brian Ling.
These players are gearing up for the annual Lake Russell Open.
Let's crank it up!
Disc golf was created back in the 1970s, and it's gone through stages of progression to actually get more formalized with tournaments and that.
Though a disc is used in place of a ball and a basket has replaced the hole, the game of disc golf has a lot more in common with its more traditional counterpart than you might think.
The discs themselves are similar to Frisbee. There's different plastics. You've got different discs that you use, just like you do in golf, different clubs.
There are basically 3 types of discs. There's a putter, there's a mid-range, and a long range. Discs are just like golf clubs. Everybody has their own preference.
There's a lot of psychological aspects to the game too, strategies of throwing, that type of thing. There's a lot of different techniques for throwing drives than the old traditional throwing the Frisbee, people throwing overhead.
There are 2 other disc golf courses in the state park system, one at Cloudland Canyon and the other at Georgia Veterans. But this course at Richard B. Russell was the first.
We put the baskets up in March of '98. When we first started, we had only maybe 30 people play, 30 rounds in a month, and it went all the way up to over 350 players playing in a month.
I like this course. It's got some open areas, long drives, a little bit of wind, rolling hills, elevation changes is nice, and then you've got the woods, the tight shots where you got to be accurate. So it takes a real diverse set of skills. You got a lot of shots where you got to bank it left to right, which is a difficult shot for many throwers that are right-handed.
I like the combination of woods and the open course. It's very scenic. It's a good test of disc golf. You've got to have every kind of shot in the bag.
The course here includes a variety of terrain, and playing in the forested areas offers special challenges.
Generally, when you're playing in the woods, it shortens up the holes, make it a little more fair. Basically, you just got to be on your game, stay away from them. I've been playing since about 1995. Course just popped up in my town, heard about it, went out and checked it out, and loved it from the start. I think it's a great game.
Saw the baskets and just inquired about them at the park office. I stopped playing ball golf instantly and got hooked on disc golf. And that was 3 years ago this month. And I played as an amateur for 6 months, and I turned professional. I'm ranked 10th in the state right now.
As with ball golf, disc golf has a growing pro industry. This tournament includes a mix of amateurs and professionals.
The Professional Disc Golf Association is the sanctioning association over the sport. They've got over 10,000 members now with their office down near Augusta, Georgia. They have a Hall of Fame down there.
Of course, you don't have to be a professional to enjoy the game.
I think disc golf is attractive for 2 or 3 reasons. One is it's real relaxing to come out and play. You know, if you've had a stressful day, you can come out and just rip it, you know, and you may not care where it goes the first few times. And it's very inexpensive to play compared to ball golf. You know, you're looking at, you don't have to buy a set of whole clubs. In this sport, you can start off with 3 or 4 discs.
I started playing ultimate frisbee first, and it kind of just transferred over to this. You know, it's a lot of fun. I love the way the frisbee flies. This is how you do it right
now. It's just something I'd enjoy. It's just like getting my arm worked up.
It's really just a great family activity. Get out and enjoy the weather. The exercise is great, plus the competition. It's a lot like ball golf. It's got the same type of rules, and it's just a great sport.
Golf courses use a lot of water for irrigation, but many courses are switching to more ecologically friendly ways to water the greens, such as using recycled wastewater. Here are a few ways you can help conserve water in your own backyard. Plant native or drought-tolerant grasses, ground covers, shrubs, and trees. Keep your grass at least 2 inches high to conserve roots. Mulch around your plants, bushes, and trees. Don't overwater your lawn. Generally, lawns only need watering every 5 to 7 days in the summer. A hearty rain eliminates the need for watering for as long as 2 weeks. For more information on how you can make a difference, visit this website.
Golf courses require a good deal of maintenance. Every day the greens must be mowed, watered, trimmed, and treated to maintain the look and performance players expect. Sometimes a major overhaul is required. In 2005, the creek at Hard Labor State Park received a facelift. These golfers are here for the grand opening.
We got a beautiful morning. Luckily for a change, no rain.
On opening day today, we decided to do a shotgun start for some of the local golfers, just to give them a chance to see the course before the regular public get to see it. And we just did a shotgun start where they could just come out and play the course.
One of the problems we've struggled with at this golf course for many years is our greens. They had the older style 328 Bermuda, and it's always a struggle to maintain them in any kind of playing conditions. So we actually closed the golf course for 2.5 months and killed the grass that we had on the greens and sprigged in a new turf called Champion Bermuda, and the project went very, very well, and we're pleased with the progress.
Located near Rutledge, just off Interstate 20, the creek at Hard Labor is the closest state park golf course to the metro Atlanta area. Its picturesque signature hole features a water wheel dating back to the 1920s.
The Creek at Hard Labor Golf Course, it's a hilly terrain. It's a short course if you look on the scorecard, but it's a very challenging course. You have to use some iron shots off the tee. It boasts one of the hardest starting holes within our golf section.
By their nature, golf courses can disrupt habitat for native plants and wildlife. But at state park courses like Hard Labor, an effort is made to minimize that impact.
Well, of course, golf courses, the goal is for folks to be able to recreate, and we have to maintain short grass on the greens and the fairways, and that requires a good bit of maintenance that isn't necessarily wildlife friendly. But on state parks, we have all of these surrounding areas and islands of wildlife habitat scattered throughout the course that provide tremendous benefits to many wildlife species, in particular some of the songbirds. As you go around the golf course, you'll see many different types of habitats. One very common one is the big mature pine trees with a fairly clean understory underneath them. That's not the best wildlife habitat, but it is real good golf ball habitat. It allows golfers to go in and retrieve their balls without running up on poison ivy and briars and other things that would make better wildlife habitat. But at the same time, because the state park does integrated pest management and does not apply pesticides and herbicides in those areas, they are full of insects, and the birds that utilize the canopy of those mature trees can go down and utilize those insects to feed their young.
Golfing may be the #1 draw to these courses, but a growing number of bird watchers are discovering that a golf course provides unique opportunities for bird watching. In fact, the Meadow Links Golf Course at George T. Bagby State Park is an official stop along the Southern Rivers Birding Trail.
The concept of the birding trail came about 3 or 4 years ago. I had noticed that we had people coming in, golfers, and especially some of the golfers' wives would come in and tell you how many different types of birds that they saw. Just the light came on one day, and I said, well, gosh, we've got 7 miles of paved paths out here. So the birders could use golf carts. During times when golfers wouldn't be utilizing the golf course, birders could come out and enjoy it as well. So we got added to the birding trail.
The Southern Rivers Birding Trail is the second birding trail in Georgia. The first one was the Colonial Coast Birding Trail. There are 29 sites on the trail, and here people can actually combine birding and golfing. So that is a really unique experience.
We tagged along with 2 expert birders to find out what sorts of birds take advantage of the fairways here.
Well, when I was a kid growing up in Ireland, I got into birding seriously, maybe 9 or 10 years in Georgia. A lot of golf courses wouldn't encourage people to get out and walk around looking at nature, looking at birds. I think it's great this golf course, they do encourage it. They're also into planting native plants and improving the wildlife habitat. I don't see any conflict with the golfers. You can use these carts and stick to the trails.
Well, I think this is a great place to bird. I've been on a number of golf courses over the years, even though I'm not a golfer. Golf courses have such a diversity of habitats, where you have grass there, you have roughs, you have water. It's just a real fine place. I think it's a place that's been overlooked.
The breeding birds you'll find here in good numbers, get good looks at them, like blue grosbeaks, that like that scrubby habitat. In open areas you'll find loggerhead shrikes, and then there's wooded habitat as well. There's a good variety. There tends to be a lot of places for birds to perch, and you'll get good looks at them.
Around the property there's probably about 15 or 20 unique bird houses. Up on number 7 there's what I would call a Frank Lloyd Wright. It's kind of a futuristic type home. Down on number 14 for a long time we had a problem with water down there, so there's a little ark down there. And on number 18 there's a telephone, so if you wanted to call the clubhouse and tell them about your good round that you were finishing up. Well, link style is open. You don't have as many trees. It goes more to what you would think of British golf courses, where you just see the rolling terrain and then the natural grasses, native grasses, and not too many trees.
On the other side of the state, the Lakes Course at Laura S. Walker also offers a golfing experience in a natural setting. Just a few miles north of the Okefenokee Swamp, this course of undulating greens is designed to preserve the natural beauty of the land.
The lakes is approximately, from where we're standing, probably 15 miles to the Okefenokee Swamp. The golf course was designed with native habitat in mind. minimal disturbance of the outlying areas.
It's actually built within a state forest, the Dixon State Forest. It's an open course, a very friendly course, kind of short. There's big lakes right in the middle of it.
We have lakes on hole 7, hole 8, hole 9, hole 18. The cattails here around the lakes is a very strong indication that you're very close to the Okefenokee Swamp.
The rough at the lakes course is filled with native plants specific to the region, such as wiregrass, cinnamon fern, and saw palmetto.
We're just in a fairly remote area. You're apt to see any type of wildlife in this region while you're playing golf, and it's just kind of a getaway type area that it's relaxing to be out here.
Just north of the lakes, Brazos Creek at Gordonia-Alatamaha State Park is another golf getaway. Here you might spot wild turkeys wandering the fairway or catch a glimpse of the resident red-tailed hawk. This is the only 9-hole course in the state park system, but plans are underway to expand Brazos Creek to 18 holes.
When we do that, this will be our first non-returning 9 golf course with the state park system. So you'll go out, when you start on number 1, you'll go out all the way out and play 18. You come back to the clubhouse on 18.
This isn't the first state park course to undergo expansion. Constructed in 1966, the Wallace Adams course at Little Okmulgee State Park began with 9 holes. It was the first course on state property. Later, this course was expanded to 18 holes. With a 60-room lodge on site, the course at Little Okmulgee has become a popular destination for traveling golfers, but the course also attracts a fair amount of local regulars.
I've been coming out here for 15 years. We think the course is actually a golfing paradise. I think it's a challenge every day to come out and play. You challenge yourself.
We play 5 days a week. Well, with a state park, you're going to see a bigger variety of people. And that's good. We enjoy that.
I've been coming out here, I guess, about 25 to 28 years, something like that. It's easy to walk. What I really like about it is not very hilly, and it's not very long from green to tee, and it's in great, great shape.
One regular at Little Okmulgee doesn't come here for the golf. The sandy soil of the pine woodlands around this course are prime real estate for the state reptile, the gopher tortoise. These large land-dwelling tortoises can often be seen snacking on the fairways and basking in the sun. In fact, the gopher tortoise is the official symbol of the course at Little Okmulgee. Just 60 miles west of Little Okmulgee, you'll find the last stop on our tour of state park golf courses, the Georgia Veterans Memorial Course near Cordele.
Georgia Veterans is 2.5 hours from Atlanta, so it's an easy drive to get here. We have plenty of folks that come here year after year after year and know about the golf course and know what a great value it is. It's got different sorts of terrain all throughout the course, but it's also unique in that it's a challenging course, but you can also run golf balls onto the greens on almost all the holes.
Well, I played other places, but this is my only home course.
It's a beautiful course, well maintained, and most of all, it's only 5 minutes away.
I enjoy playing golf because it's challenging, and at my age, it's something that I can do fairly successfully.
Some of the older men, we get together every Tuesday and every Thursday, and we just have a good time. We don't really worry about whether we're shooting 85 or 105. We out here to have a good time.
Golf enthusiasts tend to be passionate about their game, and the regulars here at Georgia Veterans are no different. But the park attracts another group of passionate enthusiasts. Georgia Veterans is home to the only model airplane flying field in the state park system, and it attracts pilots from all over the state.
The history of the model airplane field actually began in the 60s. They got some support from the governor and actually constructed these small airfields for the model airplanes to land on. They look like a miniature airport.
I always wanted to fly.
The nice thing about these planes here is if you do have a mishap, you can walk away from them.
I started out here in '64. Once you learn to do it, you just can't beat the fun of it if you love airplanes. This one is called a split S. You roll over and then you pull up.
It's been a club. It's been here for probably 20, 30 years, and I think we've got probably on roster now about 32 to 33 members right now.
This is a hobby anybody can do, and they can really enjoy it and have a lot of pleasure out of it.
I would say find the flying club nearest you. Go talk to someone, anyone. They're all a friendly group. They'll all be more than willing to tell you what type of plane you should get, where to get it, and they'll even help you build them, and they'd also take you to the field and teach you how to fly.
Whether it's flying, driving, or simply watching, Georgia State Parks and State Park golf courses offer unique opportunities to experience the outdoors. And across the state, there are yours to enjoy.
Funding for Georgia Outdoors has been made possible by a grant from Mary Hall Singleton and by the Imlay Foundation.